So, before we started working together, how are you feeling or showing up in your life or business
Yeah,
that you
I'll
want
definitely answer that.
originally?
So, in my professional life, you can only go so far on your own. And you really do need somebody who is an expert, such as yourself, to take you to the next step. And so I knew there was such a huge opportunity to make that kind of quantum leap in my own personal life as well as my business life by focusing on my inner healing. So to me, it was an immediate hell yeah, because it was so clearly like there was no downside to it.
So, what was the biggest thing that you're struggling with that people might not have seen on the outside by looking at you?
So I am generally a very confident person. I knew that there was a block and I couldn't identify what the block was where I could reach out and make my wildest dreams happen.
And so, by doing this work together, were you able to uncover what that root was?
It's so interesting because I think it was like if you can picture like a really concrete door, it just like very easily slid aside and I could walk through to the other side of it. And I think that's the work, the uncovery, the discovery, the rebuilding. My mind couldn't like justify or unjustify or turn it or like it was just an experience that you had to go through.
So, what was one of the things that kind of surprised you the most about going through that experience?
How impactful each session was. Once again, defying logic. Like in traditional talk therapy, talk through something that happened, you have to relive it. You get an exercise that you have to do. Whereas this was, yeah, the best way I can describe is like the quantum timeline jump, right? You have a lot of healing compressed in a short period of time with something that an experience, not an exercise, but an experience that defies logic, which you get to very much so go through. And for me, one of the most impactful experiences that I had in our time together was when we actually went to a time where I was spending time with my grandfather, who I love so much, and how emotional I got about having to leave that experience and how I felt like I was right there. And then the things that I wanted to not be triggered by, they don't trigger me. Like, yeah, my whole life. You know what's funny is one example is if someone said, hey, I got to talk to you about something, I always went to the worst place. It would give me the physical sense of dread all over my body. Whereas now I can literally be like, yeah, sure, and just fully hear you versus sitting there trying to fight the dread and focus on what you're saying. So just that removal of whatever it could be or maybe or anything like that, just completely gone, and to have complete stillness in your body and be able to be so present for that conversation where you're focused on listening. So I am now wide open and more focused on being present, which is incredible.
So, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about doing this kind of work?
Just do it. In the words of Nike, I wish I did this 20 years ago. I definitely say don't delay, do it sooner. I think one thing I wanted to add is I was out with my best friend the other day and she said, you just seem softer. And I cannot recommend going inwards enough, especially when you're trying to grow a business or become the best member in your family, because a lot of those subconsciously programmed pieces that you don't even know are there.
Would you say that this kind of work helped you in your business?
Oh,
Talk.
tenfold. Absolutely tenfold. There are things that I knew logically I should do, and now I do them without hesitation. Always knew them theoretically, and I would always force myself to do them, but it wasn't that feeling safe in my body piece. Whereas now, like, it feels safe in my body to just do the thing and know that if it doesn't work, that's just data, it's just learning, it's just continuing to iterate on it. Absolutely. And thank you for guiding me through that experience. It was absolutely profound, and I cannot recommend it enough.